Yo, what up, everybody? It's Thursday, so y'all know what it means, man. It's showtime. Got my boy Hoop Jargon in the building. What it do?
What's up? What's up?
Time to get it rocking and rolling, man. So here we are, man. Two sport athletes, man. You know, it's a big topic right now with a lot of folks. Our man DJ Raw and Cut just did a interview with Malachi Wyman. He's a two-sport athlete over at Jackson State University. And so that got us to thinking about, the mindset and what it takes. And then the the list goes on and on about how many two-sport athletes there's been in the history of sports. So go ahead. Before we get started, what you got to say?
Well, I got to say, I'm always cammed up on YouTube. I'm not cammed up right now because I'm down bad. I made myself some chicken fried steak, and it was pretty good. And your boy's in the bed on this one, man. I like to be autonomous on this YouTube journey, man. So yeah, man. I very much apologize for not being cammed up. But yeah, I gotta be laying down right now. That's all I gotta say to get started.
Got that itis, man. We all been there before. Got this strong itis, man. So
yeah, I might be on that porcelain throne at some point. Sorry to get a little graphic.
It's tough.
Just being honest.
It's tough, man. So let's jump right into it, man. So the mind state of a two-sport athlete, man, what does it take? Man, we all know that, playing one sport is hard enough, especially at the Division I level. But to do it on and be a two-sport athlete at that, what does it take? What is the mindset like for those type of dudes?
I'll be honest. I have no clue because I haven't been one since 8th grade.
And
if you exacerbate that to the collegiate level, like it's a lot of commitment that takes being a Division I athlete or college athlete at all, for that matter. So if I were to guess, let me back up. Because the reason why I wasn't a two-sport athlete, and when you are pretty good at one sport, your coach tends to not let you want to play the other sport. Especially in high school and then college, it's like hell no. You need to focus on one of these things, right? So with that being said, so there's always the pressure that you're not gonna get the proper how can I put it? Coaches will dissuade you from playing both sports off rip. So it's very hard to be so exceptional that you basically can break through that type of limitation. Let me put it that way. So for a person who played at a high level, I can only imagine that my workload, I'm not going to say times two per se, but that time that we had after, the basketball season is over or before the basketball season when we kind of were just chilling, just working out for the most part, you're basically increasing that pre-work times two. So you have to have focus that is crazy. And coming from Malachi playing football, obviously you're behind the 8 ball in the sense if you're not been working out with the guys, you're not forming continuity. So you got to come in as a fresh talent where guys has been working together since September, if not before that. So I can only imagine how insurmountable, like as far as the difficulty level is. So I give a lot of credit for two-sport collegiate athletes, for sure.
Yeah, it's almost an impossible task to get done because, like you said, those guys have been at it probably since the summertime. If you're a college athlete or an aspiring college athlete, you better get to summer workouts because if you don't, you're way behind the ball. It's just too much to recover from, to get in shape. Mentally, physically, and all that stuff, emotionally, all that stuff plays a part. But going from the football field over to the basketball court is a totally different mind state you got to have, especially shape-wise, man. There's a big difference in being in shape in football and then being in shape in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen plenty of football players try to come out there and compete with basketball players.
The worst is
that win game will get you every time. And shout out to Ghost. Ghost is in the building. What up, Ghost?
Ghost. The homie.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's coming. I know a deli coming. Hey, I heard
Bro,
Deli was
did you know Ghost is an Asian dude? I did not know that.
Yeah,
Boy, it floored me. I was like, Ghost has been literally on my panel talking before. I did not know he was Asian.
Yeah. He told me one time, man. Yeah. He said, I heard Deli was a two-sport athlete and full-time competitive food eater and a Krispy Kreme Hall of Fame consumer. That is tough, man. And shout out to Switch Life Media, man. I think you're new to the channel, so I appreciate you dropping through. He said, what's good, y'all? I told my old teammate about the stream he played in both sports in college. Man, yeah, that's what's up. Bring him on, man. If he want to come in, I'm going to put the stream link up in a little bit. You know, if he wants to come in and talk about his experiences of being a two-sport athlete, he's more than welcome, man. So, you know, bring him on, or you can bring him on through your channel or whatever it may be, but I appreciate you coming through. But yeah, back to being allowed to play two sports is a big thing, especially in this era now, because coaches want you to focus. Well, AAU coaches or 7-on-7 coaches or what is the baseball life? I can't even think of it right now. Those dudes, they want you to play. No, the call AAU coaches in baseball. I can't think. But hey, we're gonna call them AAU coaches. Those guys don't want you to participate in two sports, man. And I remember coming up in high school, our high school was so big and so talented. If you played football and you were good enough to play basketball, they wouldn't let you play basketball. It was just, and I wanted to play football in high school because my brother played. It was just our high school was a football school. It was just the energy, getting to play in the Ike versus Aldine game. It was just there. And we wanted to do that, but if you play football, more than likely you was not going to be allowed to play basketball. And by then it was too late, man. I was in love with basketball.
Well, no, and your brother didn't just play. Your brother was one of the standout athletes on the team. Yeah, your brother was like that dude. So it was a legacy follow that you would have been, you know, saying injected in with no problem. Being a basketball guy. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, I was a little jealous. I was like, damn, I ain't got no big brother, dog. Because you got that instant cosign. I was like, damn, dog.
Both of my brothers have been through it before, and I pretty much had it made at high school, man.
Your older brother was too old, though. Like Darrell, though.
Yeah, he was.
You had that instant cosign, man. It was a wrap, guy.
Hey, man, big bro ran the school, man. He
facts.
Absolutely ran the school, and I'm not even gonna get into all that stuff, but he literally ran the school.
Putting paws on people from different schools, like I'm just gonna keep it real on this stream, man. Darrell was a dude to be respected. And that's just the long and short of it.
You remember that scene? You remember that scene on Get Rich or Die Trying when 50 was walking the streets? Yeah. And those dudes was like tapping them other dudes and like, man, get out the way. That's how it was when my brother came through.
And the story, he ran through a fence going after somebody or something, man.
Ran through a fence, man. So my brother was a different breed, but he was a two-sport athlete. They allowed him to play baseball.
Yep.
And crazy thing is, basketball is probably my worst sport. Baseball was my thing to do. And I just picked that up natural. Like every sport that I picked up was pretty natural. But baseball, I didn't work at that at all. And I was really, really good. And I'm not going to get into those dudes that played behind me. We got to high school and they started acting a little different. But that's a different story. That's a different story, man. So it is what it is. He said, Switch Life Media says, I told both of them, one of them just signed to play pro football last week. Damn. That's what's up, man. That's a hell of an accomplishment. So salute to him. What school is it? Switch Life. What school is it? It says the other one is playing basketball overseas. Both were great athletes. Yeah. Damn. You have to be blessed with genetics that a lot of folks aren't blessed with to be an athlete, let alone to be a two-sport athlete. It's very, very hard to do. The mind state to be able to go from, since we're talking about Malachi Wyman a little bit, from football to basketball, there's no break. You're immediately into it. So you're off the field, coming off a loss against South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. You don't even have time to process that loss, really, because you're on the bus ride back or the plane back. You got to get to basketball practice. It's an immediate change. And so I salute him being able to do that, man. I wish I could have did it, because before I got on the team at SFA, they asked me to come play football. crazy thing. One of the DBs came in there in the gym. I was shooting around in the HPE, and it's like, hey man, one of my coaches want to know if you want to try that. I'm like, And then 2 days later, I got a call from the basketball program. So that was and I hadn't played football since middle school, so it was a crazy thing, man.
Well, so I remember senior year, Coach Carson asked me to play receiver. Mm-hmm. And we ran a lot of run options. So I was like, all right, so y'all ain't throwing the ball.
No, he ain't getting none of that action.
He out there blocking. If y'all, so in real life, I'm 6'7". At the time, I'm probably like 170 pounds. So to ask me to go out there and block at 6'6", 6'7", 170 pounds is not a pretty picture.
No, man.
I was like, Coach, I respectfully decline.
Yeah.
Ride this basketball thing out. And it worked out well for me. So
so there you go, man. And they wanted me to come play DN like my brother, but I'm like, man, that ain't really my thing. I wasn't fast. I wasn't fast in high school. I had good instincts, wasn't fast. So I was probably more of a safety type of guy. Because in our district, they didn't really throw the ball like that. So
I see you as a tight end too. Like that's what you played in middle school.
Yeah, I played tight end too.
Tight end dump to Will, man.
Yeah, tight end and dump, man. Go to play, man. When they threw it, it was guaranteed. But like I said, life comes at you, fast, and it works out in certain situations that it is what it is. So the interview with Malachi Wyman, I caught a little bit about that and wasn't able to catch much of it because of some family situations going on right now. So I'm gonna bring that up if I can with the share screen.
Yeah, do that.
Action.
And shout out to Will with the. I know y'all see the camera has
the clarity, man.
There.
Yeah, the
clarity is
the clarity is there, man.
Shout out to the clarity, man. We out here working, man.
We have to work it, man. Y'all tell me when y'all support the channel and give those donations that you like to donate. It's right there at the bottom, right there, the Cash App. This kind of stuff. This is what gets put back into the channel, man. So
there you go.
That's what it is right there, man. A little bit of this interview. You hopped in. They had some technical difficulties at one point. But shout out to DJ Raw Uncut. Good dude. Does great stuff for HBCUs and just sports in general, covering the Ball brothers and stuff like that. He got an interview with Malachi Wyman. That is very hard to do. It's hard to get an interview with a college athlete. A college athlete, and then especially at Jackson State right now, knowing that everybody wants to.
It's popping. Me and because before you start that stream, we've been doing this, back when StreamYard was new. So everybody named Mama StreamYards now, which I don't begrudge that at all. That's awesome. Everybody can get their opinions out in a fashion where you can conference people in. And on this exact stream, actually, me and DJ was talking about the old way we did it was we was on Skype almost 2 years ago, and we had a pre-record a show and then upload it. But now you can get it real time, and I give a shout out to my boy C Hendo. If y'all watch my videos, the guy who's talking, to Kendrick Perkins to start off, C Hendo put me on game. He's an NBA insider. He put me on game of how to use StreamYard and what StreamYard even was. In my first interview, I had Cynthia Cooper on there. Cynthia Cooper, HBCU coach currently and formerly. And it was new territory back then. But now, again, everybody, can struggle stream. Shout out to HL Kid, man.
Yeah, I see him, man. What's up, HL
That's
Kid?
a thorough guy right there, man.
What's up?
That's a good
shout out between the guys. Man, appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Give you a little sound effect for that, man. Let me see which one I can get. Nope, that's not right. I got to get my soundboard right.
You hit him with the
I gotta get my soundboard right, man. I've been working on it
with the PF chain.
I gotta get my soundboard.
Rush hour.
Right. You know what? This is what I was looking for right there. If it works, it ain't working. All right.
That's all right.
There you go. There we go. I gotta. We working, man. It's a work in progress, man. Appreciate you, HL Kid. The two Ds, man. But yeah, this was a great interview, great insight. He asked him about being a two-sport athlete. I caught a little bit of that, so we're gonna play that real quick for you guys.
Wait, let me do this real quick.
And let me say, DJ interviewed the brother who went to Grambling from out here in Long Beach as well, receiver.
And he interviewed the father too, so man, DJ out there doing work, man.
He's doing work. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's getting it done. And I've done a lot of it because we both know a bunch of college basketball coaches, so we've had interviews in the past. If y'all can go back to the channels, go back and find those. This is before we even got to this
for your patience.
level. So that's gonna come back, man. Those interviews with those college coaches coming back. They in season
Hello?
right now.
We were doing it when like nobody was doing it, so we got to kind of re-ingratiate those since our channels have grown since then.
Yeah, we got to get back to
for a coach who
Okay, here we go. I know we
kind of like Bobby Smurdo.
That's the first time it's ever did that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your patience.
Okay, so there you go.
Difficulties, there you go. You know how we rock Raw Truth Media.
Shout out to DJ. Man.
You had a fantastic season. You had 12 touchdowns, which led to SWAC. You had 540 yards, and you only played a few games. Now, first, I wanted to ask you, what made you choose Jackson State in being one of the few to be a part of change? Because we talk about other players, but you did it when it wasn't popular.
I would say Dion definitely played a big part. You know, he definitely helped me understand, you know, all the possibilities and the opportunity I had here at Jackson State. I think Coach Prime also helped me realize, you know, the type of path I could, you know, create for other young players and the type of spotlight that I could put on HBCUs as a whole.
Right.
You know, so just being able to do that is everything.
It is. It is. And I don't want to put this pressure on you, my brother, but I know Jared Rice had a record.
It's a great question.
It was almost 2,000 receiving yards in one season. He had a career almost 5,000 receiving yards. Do you think that's a doable goal for you, my brother? I think it is. I think you're very talented and you are a smart player. You think that's possible for you in the future?
I definitely think it's possible, you know, especially if definitely I get a couple more balls thrown my way, of course. But as a whole, most definitely, I think anything is possible. You put your mind to it. So just going to work so I could, you know, be at that level one day for sure.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Playing for Coach Prime, what does it mean to play for a coach who understands you, understands your culture, understand how you are as a true sport athlete?
Oh, man, it just makes my day a whole lot easier, you know, dealing with and, you know, being coached by a coach who's been a two-sport athlete at some of the highest levels of two professional sports speaks for itself, you know. He knows the type of time management it takes to be able to, you know, handle two sports. He knows the commitment that it takes to be able to play two sports, and him, you know, keeping me on the straight and narrow through it all definitely plays in my favor in a big way.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Hey, pause it.
This past season it had a lot of good, and then it ended with a loss to South Carolina State. What are some things as a team that you guys can improve on, and what is your belief in this team next season, how they'll do?
All right, go ahead. There you go.
Yeah, so I wasn't even thinking about, you know, when you asked me about how does it play two sports, I wasn't thinking about the Dion part about how he's allowed to play two sports, but it's apropos in the sense that I just said most coaches won't let you play two sports because they're like, nah, you focus. And it just hit me like a ton of, you know, doggone bricks. Of course, Dion will let him play two sports because he understands. He understands. And it's just crazy. It just literally hit me like a ton of bricks. And I exited out for a second. I shared this link with DJ. So DJ just shared this on his community tab. So I'm sure we'll have more people trickle in. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like I think the first element of this is having a coach who understands that if you have exceptional talent, that it can work. And secondly, I want to say this for all y'all people who be in these comments, you ain't call him Dion, you call him Coach Prime. His own player called him Dion twice. So,
Yeah,
so y'all get off my back.
Yeah, he did, man. Hey, they be on me hard, man. They be on me hard. I'm like, come on, man. You gotta be killing, man. Shout out to DJ. DJ is in the building, man. Salute to you too, man. Appreciate you coming through. The stream link is up in the chats, man. Anybody want to jump in on this and discuss this? This is a great topic, man. Like, there are so many two-sport athletes that have played that a lot of folks don't even know about. And I was doing some research before we even got on the two-sport. And, of course, we know about Bo Jackson and Coach Prime and Julius Peppers, who's in the thing. He played at North Carolina, got hell of a minutes, great minutes at North Carolina as a basketball player. And of course, we went on to have a Hall of Fame career as a defensive end for the Panthers. But there's a person on here that I didn't know. Did you know that Robert Griffin III was a track athlete at Baylor?
Did not know that.
Did not know that. He was a track athlete at Baylor. And going back and looking at the way he ran his stride, it makes more sense now. It makes more sense now. And so there's just plenty of others. Another person, I knew this, I just forgot about it. Terrell Owens, basketball.
Did not know that.
Ran track at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Just there's a bunch of dudes. Antoine Randall L. You remember him?
I do remember Antoine Randall. He got converted from a quarterback to a receiver for the NFL. Yep.
Yeah, played basketball.
Was he at Penn State?
Indiana.
I knew it was a Big Ten team.
Charlie Ward, Ward, starting point
Won
guard.
Heisman.
Won the Heisman. This dude won the Heisman and turned out to have a solid NBA career.
Absolutely.
A absolute solid NBA career. I mean, and that's a guy who was told that he could not, be a certain person in the football realm. And it's a shame because he was a smaller guy. Now you got guys like Russell Wilson, the guy that's we're going to talk about him in a little bit, the little bitty dude out there in Arizona.
Kyla Murray.
Kyla Murray could have been
baseball. He could have been top baseball pick.
First round draft pick.
Yep.
A first round draft pick.
Here's a guy most people don't know. Jay Cutler was a great basketball player.
Yeah.
If you look at Jay Cutler's high school film, Jay Cutler could have probably, if he wanted to, been an NBA player. So, man, it's very interesting when you really look at these backstories. Tony Romo as well. Tony Romo is really good at basketball too. So exceptional guys are exceptional, man.
Switch Life Media says Antonio Gates. Yep. I was gonna put him on there, but I try to keep it kind of new to the folks, man. It's just there's plenty of guys. Did you know that? Where's the other guy? I did not know this. Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson was a two-sport athlete. He played basketball at the University of Creighton. And we all know that Bob Gibson is one of the best pitchers ever. One of the best pitchers ever. So there are plenty of dudes, man. Who am I thinking about? Martellus Bennett is a kid out of Houston, player. Could have got drafted coming out of high school to the NBA. I mean, Martellus Bennett was the dude, and his brother
too. He was okay. His brother was okay. They both on the team.
Yeah, Martellus Bennett was on the team with the number one player. His best friend was the number one player in the state, and I want to say in the nation, but his name was Fendi. I don't know if you remember Fendi.
I do remember Fendi.
They was on the same high school team, best friends, and Martellus Bennett took it personal to get better than him. So he could have got drafted out of high school to go play in the pros, but he decided.
I'll give you another one. Swagoo. Marcus Spears played basketball for the Dallas Mustangs in Dallas. So Swagoo, y'all see him on ESPN all the time. He was a good basketball player too.
MLB, Pat Connaughton, yeah, man. The list is crazy, man. Crazy. But I want to talk about Kyla Murray. How if his decision was to go play football, he bet on himself, and it's turning out to be a great thing. But he's a little bitty guy, and he's worked it out. But he was projected to be a high baseball player. What do you think about his decision to go away from baseball, less contact, not as hard on the body? But I think his decision was because he didn't want to go down to AAA or AA and then ride buses to everywhere. How do you think that decision was for him? How much pressure do you think that decision was for him?
Well, these are always great questions. They're interesting because different players have different motivations to go pro, to accept money, and what have you. Most recently, we've seen a lot from the Ball family. Like the kids come from a more of an affluent family, so they don't necessarily have the same pressures as, let's say, a LeBron, where that was your out of the hood.
Yeah.
That was your out, right? So I look at a guy like Kyla Murray. I think he's more of the, LaMelo, Lonzo Ball ilk. And so he just really went his passion, in my opinion. Being equally as good in baseball, which is funny, he just saw himself as more respected. Because you know how it goes as an athlete. That's why we pick the sport we pick. Is how do you see yourself as the most accepted, the most appreciated? And that's generally the sport you commit to the hardest. So I think as a quarterback, which is the most, if we're being honest, the most respected position in sports total. If you're the quarterback, you win, you get all the credit no matter what you did.
Yep.
Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl, didn't throw a touchdown. Nobody talks about that. Brady got 7 Super Bowls, is what people say. So, if we're being honest, coming from a football, factory, which Texas is, of course, you would choose that sport. Now, I will say, in the moment, I didn't think that was a smart idea. I thought Kyla Murray was a little small for the NFL level, but he's proven me wrong and a lot of other people. So, man, a lot of shout outs to him for believing in himself.
Yeah, absolutely. And me being who I was, I might have taken the baseball route because the money in baseball is just stupid. And it's getting, but it's not to say that he might have not ever panned out to be a great baseball player. But he had a chance to kill his earnings way beyond his wildest dreams in football compared to basketball. But, again, life works funny in certain situations, man. So he took a bet on himself and it's paying out. They got thrashed by the Rams. What was that, Monday night? It is what it is.
It be like that sometimes.
You come back next year and you try to get better, man. And Switch Life says this is nice that you guys elaborate on this subject. Much needed. Yeah, man. Because I do a lot of AAU stuff. Well, I haven't done it in the last couple of years because of COVID. And I've never been the coach to say, hey, you need to stick to basketball. And I always told kids, man, if you have a chance to go play multiple sports, please do so. Because it allows you to see different things, especially with travel ball. Basketball, for me personally, has taken me all across this country. I'm not a big traveler. I don't go on vacations like that. But what has allowed me to do that is basketball. Whether it be through my own playing career or through coaching the younger generations. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Florida. I've been to Atlanta. Been to Louisiana. Been to Kansas, like Tennessee, like all types of places. And these are places that Tennessee, I don't want to visit Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to visit Tennessee.
Nobody, and I mean nobody wants to go to Tennessee.
And there's nothing against them, but I don't have any interest in taking a vacation to Tennessee. But basketball allowed me to go there. And same thing with baseball. Baseball tournaments are all across this country. They have international teams. So if you have a chance to play a different sport and be good at it, do it. Because a lot of coaches I talk to a lot of times on the college ranks, they like two-sport athletes. Anybody who has a kid or knows a coach, ask them what do they think about two-sport athletes. They love it, man, because there's a discipline in there to be a two-sport athlete. And our high school coaches always say, funny dude. He had all these crazy sayings, man. But one thing I do remember from him the most when he was being serious, was the 2 words, self-discipline. I remember those 2 words very, very well from him, and it translated over to my college career because it takes a lot of self-discipline to be a successful, to be a college athlete. Because
just to get into the door, you got to have discipline. Just to be accepted to come to the door every day, you got to have a level of discipline. Unless you're just so all world good that it just don't matter, and we just gonna work with you which has died a lot of people on this planet. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it takes a lot, and then to get on the court or get on the field, that's another discipline in itself because you're competing against your teammates, man. And don't let anybody fool you, man. There's jealousy in sports, especially at the college level, because everybody's being recruited. Everybody's there for a reason. I wasn't a highly talented. I didn't have high accolades in college, but I worked my butt off. And every dude that I played with one dude was a 3A state player of the year in Louisiana. I had another guy who was a
junior. You talking about JP?
No, not JP. Josh, but his name was Josh too.
Okay, and, the other one, yeah.
And speaking of Josh and Matt, both of them are they are both getting into the Hall of Fame at SFA this weekend.
Nice.
And I would love to go, man, but COVID is still running rampant. But just gotta think about the big picture sometimes. So it is what it is. But I was competing against these dudes, and they was far more superior athletes than me, but they didn't have the will, they didn't have the discipline. They were just really good, man. So I knew my job was to.
They didn't have a will.
My job. I'm gonna take that back. I knew as the type of player that I wasn't as good as a scorer as them.
Yeah.
So my job was literally to defend the best player, and that was my way of getting on the court. If I wanted to go out there and score, man, I wasn't gonna play.
Yeah.
So I had to check my ego at the door, and everybody around campus, man, Will, why you ain't doing this? Like, bro, if I want to play, man, I got to do this, man. I played a whole 40-minute game and took no shots.
Yeah.
And people like, man, how you do that? It wasn't my job, man. I understood my assignment, man. Like,
I want to share this, and this is just me thinking as you're talking. So if you guys don't know, Will graduated from Stephen F. Austin State University. That's actually the school I started at. So me and Will played high school ball together at Eisenhower in Houston. I went straight to SFA. Will went to Bland Junior College. That's where Cam Newton went when he left Florida before he went to was it not Clemson? Freaking Auburn. I always confuse them two schools. Don't know why. So long story short, I was telling Will to come up there, and Will, he had his own journey going, at Blend. And I just remember going to practice every day because the name of the Coliseum is called the William R. Johnson Coliseum. And that's Will's real name.
That's my exact name.
No, I used to think about you every day going. Like, why is Will not here? It's the William Johnson Coliseum.
Oh my God.
Every day I would see that, I was like, why is Will not up here? Like, that's a funny backstory. I'm thinking as you're talking. Yeah. Secondly, I want to say, as far as just like, I think, that's a great point about, man, we got to encourage kids to basically play multiple sports. Because I think it's detrimental, and I think it's selfish in a certain space where like high school level coaches or college, you limit guys' potential. Because at the end of the day, I understand you want the maximum out of them for your sport. I understand that. I really do. But at the end of the day, you're trying to build men to maximize on their gifts to get them as far as they can go in life. That is the ultimate goal. I remember being in junior college. I went to Mountain View College. Shout out to Mountain View College out there in Dallas, which I hated both years I was there. But I mean, it is what it is. I was almost a JUCO All-American. I appreciate Mountain View for what it gave me. But my coach was doing this shit where he wouldn't. He basically was not telling me, Division I schools hit me up because he didn't want me to have a big head. So he wanted to just hold those inquiries on me until the end of the season, which makes no sense. You're supposed to engage those people in real time so you get guys to the next level. And he also restricted us from certain tournaments because he thought the team wasn't at full strength. When you don't understand the JUCO level, all you're doing is advertising. You got guys for 2 years.
Yeah,
you're advertising them to go to the next level. So it's just interesting. That was his mentality with those kind of things. I'm not gonna lie. Once he told me that, I was very frustrated. My second year, I was very frustrated. But now, as a grown man, I understand that some people just have that mentality. So I would encourage coaches who listening, if you get to the stream, it's better to give your athlete as many opportunities as possible to A, pick what they want to do, and B, get an opportunity that their socioeconomic level may not afford them, because you got to step outside that selfish mentality, just trying to win games. And well, let me say this again before I land the plane. I would say this to my middle school kids. I'm like, I don't give a damn about winning district. If we win district, cool. I want to teach you things that you can use later in life, and even in college. If you play college basketball, sports, and damn it, I keep digressing. I'm sorry, I have to. I'm actually going to interview one of my old athletes I had in middle school, Carl Reynolds. He signed to be a receiver from Navarro College. He's going to be at Houston Baptist University this year, next 2 years. So I'm going to bring Carl onto my show. But I always told them, and he played, well, I coached him in both sports, basketball and football, but football took off for him. But I always told them, I was like, I don't care about winning games at this level. I want you to learn things from a perspective of a guy who went far to teach you, so you know what this level looks like. And I think that's more important, because our goal as coaches, as mentors, as whatever, it should always be to push forward the guys under us and give them game that we weren't given when we were younger.
Absolutely, man. You cooking, man. And so I want you to hold on to that thought, because I got a thing to go with that. HL Kid said Charlie Warrior. We talked about him. Ghost says there's always biasness in sports. Being an Asian wing back in high school, I had to find ways to get on the court. Taking charges, out rebounding everybody. Gordon 125, playing ugly. Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes, man. It got you on the court, man. When you're an athlete, you have to understand, what is my best option to get on the court or on the field, or if you're playing rugby, whatever it may be. Nobody wants to be a bench warmer, man. If you just play the sport to sit on the bench, then I don't want you as a teammate. I don't want you as a player. Colin Kaepernick, yep, another two-sport athlete. Man, there's plenty of lists. I got a whole list over here I can go through. Ghost says them white dudes on my high school thought I should have been playing ping pong instead of
That Ghost hilarious, though.
Oh my God, dog. Oh my God, dog.
Ghost to take your whole stream left.
Out of left, man, left, and then another left.
Another left.
To your back right. Switch light says, "Hey, I had one coach try to play politics with me. I got my numbers left at the man."
There you go.
I'm gonna tell this story, man. And I try to leave things in the past. My high school coach, I played for him for 3 years. 1 year JV, 2 years varsity. He became my varsity coach my senior year. And I was so far ahead in my classes my senior year that I got to stay in athletics. And so I'm sitting in the office. Cliff, I think I told you this story before. Sitting in the office, just trying to find something to do. And I find these stacks of letters. There's letters. Like 4 stacks of letters. And I'm going through them. And it's Baylor, U of H, Tulsa, TSU, all these coaches. This is the towards the end, like April. We're about to graduate. And my name is on it. Larry's name is on it. Dante, your name. And I'm sitting there and I open up one of mine, and it wasn't no bull like, hey, those survey type letters. This was a handwritten letter from a coach. Hey man, we interested in you, yada yada yada. And I'm just like,
bro.
As an 18-year-old kid, I'm thinking like, why didn't he give us none of this stuff? Why was he holding on to this? Like it was hidden in the corner. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. And if I was more of a disrespectful young man at the time, I would have, approached him about that. I don't think I even ever told my parents this. And so his reasoning was because he didn't feel like our group was very good. He had a picture in our wall after we came back, after we graduated, and had a picture in there that said overachievers. Our high school coach, we were 2 games away from state.
Yeah. No, we were 1 game away from state.
1 game away from state. 1 game away from state. And our high school coach wrote on our senior picture and said, overachievers. He just didn't believe in us for whatever reason.
And not only
maybe.
that, we have four
D1
Division I athletes on that team. And our best player, Larry, should have been one who was my teammate in junior college. His grades just weren't up to snuff. So that's in his mind, overachievers. That's the best class. That's the best team you had, sir. But it is what it is.
It's in the past, man. So,
and let me say this too. Will, I appreciate you showing me love. I know damn well none of the letters had me in that bitch. But
no. You had a couple.
Oh, okay. Damn, I didn't know that. See,
you
know me. I'm outspoken. I would have got you should have told me. You told me half that story. You didn't tell me the full story.
Yeah, you had a couple.
I played pro ball. Like, I'm your only pro ball player. I played 1 year varsity. Oh, man. Coach, come on, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
It is what it is, man.
I got frustrated.
Switchlight Media says he didn't tell me about my offer, so I went to, there you go, right there. Same story, man. There are plenty of coaches like that, man. You know what's crazy is he tried to get me to go to Abilene Christian, which is now D1.
He was pushing the other one school. What school did Gabriel go to? He was pushing that Texas Lutheran. That's when he was pushing hard.
Yeah,
coach.
No, dog.
Sorry. Shout out to Texas Lutheran University.
Yeah, man. So
we
crazy, man. Coaches. Go says tips to the younger guys out there. Outwork everybody. You never know when you get a call.
Absolutely.
I say that all the time. You have to be ready when your number's called and make the best of your moment. And if you don't, that's on you. That's on nobody else. And I'm gonna bring that around because it brings me back to when you're talking about coaches not allowing kids to play different sports. I want to get to the parents because there are parents who hinder their child because they want their kid to play their sport or the sport that they love. And my parents never forced me to pick any sport. I just ended up falling in love with basketball. My dad loved basketball. I just ended up falling, but he never told me, hey, son, you have to play basketball. But there are so many parents out there in the world who are taking their kids away from a sport that they may love because they didn't play it or they weren't very good at it. And it's unfair to the child because every child, if they play a sport, they should be able to experience anything and everything in sports. The ups and downs, good, the bad teammates, good teammates, bad coaches, good fans, terrible fans. Like all that stuff plays a part in building character because at some point you're not going to play sports forever. So what are your thoughts on parents who try to chastise their child and hold them back from experiencing baseball, basketball, football, tennis, whatever it may be?
I think a lot of parents mismanage a lot of what their kids have going. And this is coming from being a former educator. I think a lot of parents have their own vision of what their kid should be, and they just fumbled it. And because the reason why I say that is because they haven't properly cultivated it. They just kind of just wanted them to be one thing. But did you go and train your kid, after hours? Did you go buy a trainer to come and work with your kid? Did you go and do the stuff after hours that's required to, like, if you want to center them in that, you have to cultivate them properly. What you did was you put them in youth leagues, which is fine. I mean, that's from a middle income living or lower income living, that's pretty much expectation. No problem. But when you censor it like that and you're not giving the supplementary stuff, it's just like education. So if you got your kid and you're not giving them enrichment programs and you're not self-educating at home, you're letting TV babysit them, you're not giving the best chance for them to excel. Same with sports. If you're not giving those supplementary options to grow, to learn, to get better, then you're basically leaving everything up for chance. And I just think that's a very, I don't want to use the word reckless, but it's a very ineffective way to cultivate your kids' maximum ability.
Yeah, you're putting, to say the least, you're not allowing them to explore their mindset. And like you said, goes with education. You have to do more outside of what the teachers are doing. We both come from parents who are educators. You have to start at home. your child's success begins at home before they ever step foot inside of an elementary school or pre-K, whatever it may be. If you're just depending on teachers, especially now,
Good
with
luck.
all this COVID stuff, man, there are more educators. Educators might be the fastest profession right now who are leaving their profession. There might be because they finally figured out, but like, hey, man, I'm doing all this work for BS pay, getting yelled at by parents, yelled at by my administration, not being supported by the people up top, not being supported by the people in Austin, or my Texas folks. And teachers are like, they had enough. They're out the door, man. So that education has lost a lot of good teachers. And it started before COVID. Don't get me wrong. For anybody who's out there listening, it started before COVID, man. They are done, man. They're fed up with it. They can't do it no more. So it is what it is.
And go and say it, Will. How do we know this? How do we know this so intricately?
We both was in it, man.
We both were educators. We both not anymore.
Not in it, man. Hey, shout out to everybody that's still there, though, man. I still, holler at them a little bit, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff, man. Follow us on social media, Between the Game Sports, Hoop Jargon, on all social media platforms, man. It's just crazy stuff. What it say? HL Kid says, it's good to see that you guys went to high school together and stayed in contact much love. Man, we've been...
Man, contact is an understatement, dog.
Yeah, we didn't did anything and everything, man. We've been friends since like 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
So we just... First time we went to school together was during middle school, man. So, but it started in sports.
No, it was intermediate school.
Oh yeah.
Intermediate school.
Back in the day, that was still middle school.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but it started in sports. Look at that, and we've been friends over 30 years. So, and truth be told, a lot of our friends, we've all been friends over 30 years, man. It's just crazy.
It's a tribe, dog. It really is a tribe, and just some of them just don't want to be out like this, putting videos out and what have you. And hell, I brought Will into the space. Shit, this channel bigger than mine now. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
And it's just crazy, like how shit goes and how it pops off. There's no jealousy, no hate, no this, that, or third. Because I told everybody who I knew, I was like, yo, this dude Between the Game Sports, I know he got 2 subscribers. He's gonna be good at this.
I started off with a 2-piece, no biscuit, no fries, no nothing, man. And just grinding it out, man. You know me, man. I'm a background type of dude. We talked about this before, man. I hate being up front, man. I've always been the dude to take the back seat, even though I could have. But I'm just, I'm a background dude. But it is what this has been eye-opening. It's been, opened my mind to different things. I met different people. People from Africa. I met people from China, been on my channel. Like, it's just crazy. We're normal people. We don't have a degree in media or broadcasting or anything like that. We're just out here spitting knowledge that we've known and learn on the fly, man, and our experiences in playing sports. And it, for the most part, it's pretty legit. It's legit information, man. We're not going to BS you, man. We're going to give you everything we can. I'm going to put the stream link up in here. If anybody wants to join the stream, man, anybody want to come in, y'all can. This is a great conversation. Put it up on the screen.
It's an important conversation, and I know we're 7 deep in here. These conversations need to be had because this is basically the minutia of what sports is. And if we if we acknowledge, about the reality of how 2 sport athletes are kind of getting marginalized a bit, and we talk about stuff like this, it just gives you a greater appreciation for guys like Malachi, guys like Antonio Gates. And we talked about the brother who played for Texas Southern recently, Griffin. Do we figure his
Griffin
first?
Derek Griffin. It just hit me. Derek Griffin.
Derek Griffin, and guys, on y'all, man, pull up Derek Griffin right now.
Yeah, I got to, man.
Share screen. This dude was incredible. And this is recent swag. This is like, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? This is recent swag.
I don't know.
Man, pull Derek Griffin up. Derek Griffin's a beast, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. A 5-star. I think he was a 5-star in both sports.
Yes.
I think he committed to Miami and then went to Texas
Went to
Southern.
Miami, came back and went to Texas Southern. So
playing under Coach Johnny Jones, I believe, Coach
Johnny Jones, yeah.
Yep.
So let me see. I'm gonna pull up his mixtape. I'm gonna pull up his mixtape.
No, his mixtape is crazy. And I want to get a little more of DJ's interview with Malachi Wyman too, if you want to do that after.
Yeah,
it's good to hear young brothers get an opportunity to speak, man, and yeah.
Just because you're an independent doesn't mean you don't need help.
So
we use HoneyBook to do the same.
You know what? I had YouTube Premium for a month for free. I'm not gonna lie, man. They spoiled the hell out of me. I can't see myself breaking bread for $15 a month. Oh man, I left that kicking and screaming, dog. YouTube Premium is what that is.
So man, look, this is Derek Griffin, folks. Absolute stud.
Yeah, boy. Athletic as hell.
Played on the EYBL circuit, which is the top notch. Played with the defenders. There's the Harrison twins right there.
Top notch gets the most, not the lesser. Shout out to Pimp C.
Pimp Chad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy.
It was ugly as hell, but you know.
So to give this context, they played against Louisville a few years ago, Texas Southern, that is, and Derek was showing naked ass in the great state of Texas, to quote Lil Kiki. Man, he was killing them, man.
Best athlete on the court.
Oh, by far. And we talking about University of Louisville here. Best athlete on the court. So to give you context of SWAC greatness, Derek Griffin need to be talked about in that conversation.
Look at that, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
he doing this against Power 5 schools. He did the same thing against Power 5 schools. So don't just limit him to SWAC or just high school, EYBL circuit. He does this against everybody.
Tough, man.
I want you to see if you can pull that up. Pull up Texas Southern in Louisville if you can.
Yeah, give me a second.
Oh man.
Let me exit out of this.
It needs to be acknowledged, man. You know, that SWAC athletes, man, have been there. I know everybody says, about, well, let's go just basketball. Lindsey Hunter going to Jackson State. Your boy Bobby Fields going to Southern University. Willis Reed, famous New York Knick, went to Grambling State University. Or, a person I played against, Trey Johnson, Jackson State, went to the Lakers and the Hornets. That's, SWAC greatness. But now you got a guy who's more, current, who was doing work as well. Now he didn't go to the NFL. I'm sorry, the NBA. But it's a lot of guys who aren't just your, a lot of guys who didn't go necessarily professional, but were just very exceptional athletes play in this conference.
Yeah. So I found it, what you're talking about right here, man. So again, we said Derek Griffin was the best athlete on the court. The very first highlight you will see. The very first highlight you will see. Let me pull this thing up, man. I'm gonna go full screen for y'all with it too.
Yeah, go. Yes, sir.
The very first that was Donovan Mitchell.
Really?
That was Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. That was Donovan Mitchell.
You might need to run that back.
That was Donovan Mitchell.
You might need to run that back. Just let you know. You're doing that against a great NBA player. Damn, I didn't know that. Well, I knew you went to Louisville. I know.
Yeah, that was him.
Those paths cross like that. Damn, that's crazy.
That was him, man. So my laptop stopped tripping, man. But man, we appreciate everybody who's been here, man. We do these every Thursday, either on my channel or Hoops Jargon channel, man. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to both channels, and we know it's this mid the work day. So it's tough to get out and get on your YouTube. But, it is what it is. So this is the time frame that we're usually in it, between 2 and 4. course, my laptop is tripping now. Excuse me.
No, it's good. It's relevant conversation though. So I mean, whether I know usually the extensive HBCU content drives our channel. Talking about the Ball family drives the channel, but sometimes we got to have conversations like this that are just straight up what sports is about. I think that adds to the purity of what we do, because our intentions appear, man, on YouTube. You know what I'm saying, and it's just what we're about. Because outside of this space, this is kind of stuff we talk about, man. Just pure hoop stuff, pure sports stuff, and we hope that y'all take to it that barbershop style approach. And not, because let me say this. Sometimes in the barbershop, you be hearing some bullshit, but, we try to.
You don't want to always go with the barbershop talk. So, right there, the defender on the ball is Donovan Mitchell. The defender on the ball is Donovan Mitchell. I got to plug my laptop up. I'm tripping. About to die. Dropping the ball.
HL Kid has a great comment, too.
All right, so let's jump on it before. Let's jump on before we play that. He says, "I'm at fault of that. I can't lie. My son wanted to play soccer. I knew nothing about the sport. I thought my son would be outcast playing the sport, and that was my fault." But like Hoop Jargon said, man, parents make mistakes, and you're not human if you don't make mistakes. You're not human if you don't make mistakes. So you're not the first parent and you're not the last parent that's going to do that, man. And it's hard to understand that concept because, like you said, you didn't know anything about soccer. And if you don't know nothing about soccer, you don't even know what steps to take to get your child to a soccer trainer, soccer practice, whatever it may be. But, we live and we learn and we move on. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's where the conversation educates another person. HL Kid, he be all around, man. He watches a lot of people speak about sports, and I think it's important. And I'm glad he came to your channel today because, we just speak from a level of experience that most YouTubers may not have, and that's just reality. Like we played at a high level, we've coached. I coached at D1 level. You've trained a lot of Division I athletes. You know what you're talking about. And it's just a perspective that's different than most people who can just turn the camera on, put a ring light on, and just go, which is, no shade, no problem. But it's just, each person has a certain level of expertise or experience. And it just so happened on this stream, it just makes you get a different perspective on the way you may have viewed something. So hopefully that'll help, people like HL Kid or somebody else like, okay, damn, maybe I was a little bit broad-minded with this. Maybe I should just think a little more. When else I wasn't broad-minded, I was a little kind of condensed, and I should kind of open up the way I view it because my kid may be able to have an ability that they may not be able to articulate to me in a certain way that I'll be on board. They just know intrinsically that I got this in me. So that's why streams like this are important, in my opinion.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And Switch Life Media, man, I ain't forgot about it. He said you coached against Malachi. That's dope right there. And he said you coached against Kenyon Martin Jr., man. Great bounce. Of course, he got that from his pop. I think he would have been a great football player. Yeah, he could have been. And football players are extremely athletic, man. People don't get it twisted, man. I've seen 400-pound linemen come into the basketball court and do a vert dunk. So that takes a lot of skill to do that, man. It's not an easy task, man. But you don't see too many football players trying to come over and play basketball. And this is why Malachi Wideman is doing something very, very special.
And let's say this. The guys who generally come from football to basketball are bigs.
Yeah.
So like a Charlie Ward and Malachi Wideman, not so much, or your Dead Griffins. Like in bigs, I mean, you just so wide and big. Big Shaq from high school. Shout out to Antonio Perkins.
Antonio Perkins,
yeah. Shout out to Antonio Perkins, man. Like, that was generally your convert guys, not necessarily your skill position guys or what have you. So it's always good to see other guys, matriculating to that because as we know, we're prideful guys being basketball players, and we ain't letting
two sport guys to step in our space if we can help it. You feel me?
No, man.
What's a whole nother discussion right there?
Yeah, man. Well, so man, shout out to HL Kid. He done jumped in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? Shout out to HJ. Shout out to you. Man, I'm just now coming in and seeing what you're doing, bro. I didn't subscribe, so I'll be tuning in. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you were talking about fathers that, you know what I'm saying, kind of limit their kids to playing a sport. My son wanted to play soccer. And I was kind of like, I didn't understand the game. I didn't know if he would, you know what I mean, be outcast out of the game, and I didn't let him play. It hurted me and him, you know what I mean, in a way of like, I should have let him play. I should put more time into it, you know what I mean? But it was something that I just didn't, I wasn't familiar with. I wanted him to play football. I wanted him to, you know, play basketball. But he really wanted to play soccer. I should have put him in.
Yeah, like we were saying, I guess you might have missed that, but man, everybody makes mistakes, and soccer is it's a sport that Americans don't really understand, especially on the black boy side of it. I've seen a lot of Caucasian kids play, a lot of Caucasian girls, they play it a lot, and of course the Hispanic kids and Africans and stuff like that.
No. The world plays soccer, bro.
The world plays soccer. So there we go. There we go. So it's a sport as American.
It's the most popular sport in the world, bro.
As the skin color of us men,
young black men, we don't take to it. We didn't take the time to understand it. Is what I say. You know what I mean?
And you know what's funny is, man, when parents ask me about their children. And they say, man, what sport should I sign my kid up for when they first starting off? And the first two sports I explained to them is soccer and baseball because of the footwork and the hand-eye coordination, but mainly because of soccer and the footwork. It's something that you learn. This is why you have great guys like Steve Nash, Kim Olajuwon. These dudes grew up playing soccer. The footwork is there, and that's all you got. You ain't got nothing else in soccer but your head. But your head,
eye coordination.
Yeah, that's it. So
I feel like Coach Patrick would say feet work. Is that a Coach Patrick? Is that a Coach Patrick?
Yeah. Hold on, my phone.
Uh-oh. Damn, man, you over having some extreme technical difficulties.
Hey, Jay, I just want to say I appreciate everything you do, man. I watched the post you just did about the guy talking about the Ball family, man. I'm happy that you stuck up for him and said what you had to say, because we all feel that way.
With the gym with the Ball family, with which one?
When you was talking about the guy, I forgot his name, Adam, whatever, that was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro, because we need to speak out on what the truth is.
And that's my whole thing. I don't care if it limits maybe where my channel can grow. The truth needs to be said. And for that gentleman to say, and I use the word gentleman loosely, to say that Lonzo and LaMelo are the worst things to happen to America, that just shows how poor your scope is. And like I said in the stream, what are you comparing that to? And if we look at like fathers or parents or kids who are out here just being straight up degenerates, if I'm just being honest,
right?
Like, what are we saying to say that he's the worst, or I'm sorry, his kids are the worst? Like, that makes no sense, because you know what, his kids don't do anything. They ain't been in trouble. They have not done anything to put you in a space where you would say that only thing you could say is LiAngelo stealing in college was probably, you know, a bad thing. Well, no, it's not probably. It's a bad thing.
We all know that he didn't steal anything. He just stuck up for his people. You know what I mean? Like, that's code. You don't tell on nothing. So it's like, if I got to go down with the boat, that's what I got to do. So, you know what I mean? We know he didn't steal anything. You don't have to.
Well, even if he did, you know, because sometimes, again, I'll leave his name out the stream. I knew a guy who was, so in our neighborhood, me and Will lived in the same neighborhood. It's called Greenfield Village. And middle to lower class households. It was a cat I knew. His mom made a lot of money. And I guess from whatever his situation with his father, he had a lot. But he would pretend that he was in a struggle too. So I do factor in some guys just want to kind of be with the guys, and you're stealing something you know that you can afford. Like, you know what I'm saying? I leave room for that possibility.
You got no business trying to do that, man.
Yeah.
But a lot of that life appeals to a lot of those, and this is how kids get caught up in certain situations, man. And when you make a decision as when you're a kid, sometimes your decision as a kid can cost you in adulthood, and it's unfortunate. But that's why I'm not so hard on kids on making mistakes, because we've all made mistakes as a youth.
Thanks.
We all have, man. And so I try not to judge kids much, man. I got a kid right now that played for me. Could have been, Quentin Grimes, who just got drafted by the Knicks, having a great rookie season, man. The kid that I had gave him 40 almost every single time they played.
Wow.
But the worst thing that ever happened to him was COVID the first year, and he had to go back home. And I knew it, and I told him, man, whatever you do, don't go back home, because everybody he knows that other life. And now, he's doing what he's doing, and I can only give him so much. And it's unfortunate, but everybody makes their own decision, man. He's 23, 24 years old, so he has a chance to go and correct his behavior at some point. But I can lead a horse to water, as they say.
Can't make him drink.
Can't make him drink, man. I can't even. My damn laptop cut off on me. I'm on my phone now.
Dang, that's how you getting in. And I'll say this too: the popularity of soccer. When I played ball overseas in Portugal, some of my teammates, like, they literally would disavow themselves from practice to go watch, Benfica and Porto play and what have you. At the time, Freddie Adu was playing for Benfica, man. So
back.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. So, man, so soccer's huge, man. It's just like in our community, not so much. But the world, literally in Brazil, it's damn near its own economy, because ain't nothing else these kids can do.
Yeah.
But play soccer. Like, we all know Pele. Your man, what's the dude who had the Nike commercials about 10 years ago? Sheesh.
There's plenty, man.
He had the ponytail. He looked like Joakim Noah.
Bernardino, what was his name?
Oh, Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah. So when we talking about dudes in the slums, what they call the favelas out there in Brazil. So soccer is a huge game. It's just, in our inner city, when it funnels down to where we at, nah, ain't nobody messing with soccer like that. So you didn't make a mistake, brother. Yeah. You just ain't know.
Didn't know. Wasn't educated about it. And it is what it is. And soccer is easy because all you need is a ball.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is a ball, man. It is what it is, man. So I want to ask, Deion Sanders has been mentioned. Bo Jackson has been mentioned. Who is the greatest two-sport athlete, man, ever? The greatest two-sport athlete ever.
I'm going Deion. Because Deion's actually won a championship at his craft, at least one of the two crafts.
I think he won both.
No.
Didn't he win one with Atlanta?
No, it almost did. Almost did.
Which is still respectful, like getting close.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think Deion's the only guy to play in a playoff football game and then go back and what did he do?
I think he played in the both playoff games.
Played in a baseball playoff game and then went and played in a football game. I want to say that's it. I
think he left the football game to go play the baseball game.
One of the two. So he's the only person that can truly say that he's done that, man.
That's crazy.
Right.
He's done that, man. You know who's
Bo Jackson kind of did it after he left football. It wasn't like as prevalent when he was playing football. Kind of showed out more when he left football.
Man, I give Deion a bunch of credit, man. I got to switch to my webcam thing because that's about to die. Man, we've been at it, man. Everything. I didn't really charge. This is the first time I used my camera that I bought, and so I didn't really charge it, man. I just rock with it, and it lasted an hour and something. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Dion as well because, like you said, he's played it at an extremely high level, and also because Bo Jackson's career was cut short. He didn't get a chance to be who he was supposed to be. Man, Bo Jackson was incredible. He was All-Star MVP, I believe, in baseball. He was a Pro Bowler, so he had a chance to do it like no one else had ever seen. So it happens, man. But you have to go with prime time in this situation. And another guy who's a great athlete who I heard was really, really good in basketball coming out of high school was Barry Bonds. I heard Barry Bonds was incredible coming out of high school. So
I didn't hear that. That's impressive. And I'll give Dion a lot of credit too, because not only was he really good, he went from winning a championship with the 49ers to leaving and going to the Cowboys with a championship. That's crazy. That means it was a lot to do with you. It was you, a lot of you.
The culture.
He played. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's the culture in him. It's the drive to want to be great. And I told this story before. Those who are new here, Dion, he gave a testimony about his life, and the part of that, he said that he won a championship with the 49ers. He said on the way he was leaving the game, and he felt empty inside.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who just won a Super Bowl. He said he felt empty inside. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to go over to Dallas. So I won a Super Bowl with Dallas, and I still felt empty inside. And this is just his testimony about, his love for God and Jesus. But the drive in that to be great is what causes that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
To win a Super Bowl on one team, then you say, you know what? I'm going to go over here to the rival team, and I'm going to win a Super Bowl. So
who does that?
The drive to be great, man, and I think that's what he's doing down in Jackson State. He's trying the drive to be great, not settling to being mediocre.
And if you remember, he played the offensive side of the ball too for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he played some receiver.
Dion was the football back then, but Melo is the basketball now.
It's
for the coach.
It's permeating.
I'm with it.
He's a maverick. He's somebody who goes against convention. And yeah, absolutely.
I don't think nobody did not have a pair of Dion back when he was playing. I think everybody went out and got a pair.
Well, I ain't had none because my parents said, hell no, they ain't paying
I never asked for it. I couldn't have it, but I never asked for it. The most expensive shoe I got growing up was the Grant Hills.
Yeah, that's about my parents' price range. No, hell no. That's about $80. Nope. I was a $50 range. I had some Dennis Rodman.
That's the most expensive shoe I had.
Hey, I used to save my allowance up, bro. I keep my 3-week allowance and save my money up for my shoes.
Hey, I ain't getting no allowance. I got allowed to live. That's what I got allowed to live.
You're allowed to live.
You know my parents. You know my mama.
Hey, I remember.
And I appreciate my mom went through the struggle, mom and dad, but they made sure that we had allowance and we had to work for it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that's dope.
They gave us responsibilities that the mindset of learning how to, at a young age. It wasn't just given. We had to work for it.
There you
that's
go.
How it's supposed to be.
Parents for that.
There you go.
That's how it's supposed to be. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was the kind of kid. I thought me being a good kid was enough to me to get the extra stuff. Because and Will know me, man. I was always great in the classroom, playing sports.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a mouthy person. So only time I got in trouble was talking too much in class, but being a class clown as it were. But other than that, I never really got in trouble at all. And I just thought that was enough for me to get what I wanted. And hell no. My first pair of J's came from me babysitting, earning money.
Yep.
Which is basically my auntie.
You appreciated them though.
Yeah. Oh, you damn right.
Made sure you took care of them.
My first pair of J's they were the black and red 14s. And they came out on my birthday. That's the only reason why I ever asked for a pair of Jordans, man. Only reason why I asked for a pair of Jordans.
I never owned a pair of Jordans in my life. Never bought a pair of Jordans. Never was into it.
I'm not a big shoe guy anyway. I wear whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So it's been great conversation, man. I want to try to round this out, and I'm gonna give some more names that's out there. More names that's out there that people might not know was two-sport athletes at one point in time. And of course, Allen Iverson, who said he was, better at football than basketball. Michael Jordan ended up being a two-sport athlete. Big Kevin Nash, man. People don't consider wrestling a thing, but I think Kevin Nash was like the number 2 player in the country at one point.
Damn.
In basketball.
Undertaker too.
Undertaker might have been one of them two.
Undertaker played at Wild Trip.
Yeah, one of them two. So
it was in Houston, by the way, guys.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was drafted by the Rangers.
Right.
Who else am I missing?
Cedric Benson was football
Cedric
player
Benson,
for UT.
football
The late
and
Cedric
baseball
Benson
player.
played baseball too. Yep.
So I mean, the
tight end from Jacksonville. I can't remember his name right now. I'm lost, but the tight end from Jacksonville played Poly. He played football and basketball for Poly. Another player.
You talking about Mercedes Lewis?
Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah,
man, I couldn't catch his name for nothing.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I used to cut all them kids at Poly High when they was in high school, dominating. All them kids that went to SC, I cut all them kids' hair back. Deshaun Jackson, Daryl Rudeau, Kareem Kelly, all them kids.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's a great testimony.
Here's another current guy. I'm gonna go before this. Hines Ward. Hines Ward was a two-sport athlete. Here's a current guy, Mr. Crab Legs himself, Jameis Winston.
Didn't know that.
Jameis Winston was a great baseball player.
Didn't know that.
Wow. Drafted 15th in the 15th round by the Texas Rangers. So just Rod Woods, and I mean, it's just crazy. I'm looking at this list. Donovan McNabb, we forgot about him. Played basketball at
Syracuse. Yeah.
So
forgot about that.
There are guys out there, the parents and whoever, coaches allow your kids to be able to participate in two sports. And Malachi Wyman was really the basis off of this. He's averaging 20 minutes a game from what I can remember at Jackson State right now. To go off the field and to go and play a college basketball game and average 20 minutes a game. One, that means your team might not be too good, but two, he's a great athlete because 20 minutes in basketball is a lot, man. It's a lot, man. It's a lot of minutes, man. And so that means somebody that was there before you ain't getting the job done.
My first year at PV, I averaged 17 or some shit like that. So he putting that down like that. That's impressive.
Yeah, man. So
we weren't good. We won 2 games in conference that year.
Oh man, that's crazy. So I just found out. Remember Ronald Curry?
Yes.
Ronald Curry was McDonald's All-American. So man, we got to continue to encourage these young men and ladies to go out and try things. Don't be so focused on being able to be great at one thing. Go out there and see if you're good at something else. And that was the premise of this whole show, to let guys know what it takes to be a two-sport athlete, the mind state, the self-discipline, the understanding time management. And for anybody that don't know, college sports is all about time management.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta be your best, but it teaches you how to be sufficient in your career after sports. Like I'm still an hour early to a lot of things that I do, work, coaching wise, like anything I do, I'm usually an hour early, man. And that's something I learned from dealing with DK at Stephen F. Austin, man.
I wish I was still harboring that. I'd be on this streamline for y'all. But I understand when the whip gets cracked and it's time to get to that mode. I can get there. I just, I'm being honest. I'm not an early bird. But I remember those days because with DK, it was 45 minutes early or you was late. Yep. And in my experience at Prairie View, it did not mirror that. Man, let me say that.
That's what's up, man. But this has been great, man. Y'all can close it out. HK, I'll let you go first, man. What you got?
Hey, I just want to say I appreciate you guys letting me come in, man. You guys have a great stream going on. I appreciate it. This is top.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely appreciate you coming through. New subscribers. We always looking for new subscribers. I'm almost to 2,500 subscribers, I think. So we almost there, man. It's been a crazy grind. I started with 72 in last June, and I'm up to almost 2,500. So the grind has been crazy. Hoop Jargon, man, what you got for us as we close it out?
Again, I just think conversations like this are important. We need to talk about the stuff in between the game, talk about the stuff that is prevalent to with the product that we see on Sunday, on Saturday, or what have you, because it's a lot of side stories. There's a lot of side information that we don't account for. And again, when we talk about the minutia of sports, the inside, the entrails, or what have you, you need to understand what you see and appreciate guys like Malachi Wideman, appreciate guys like Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Antonio Gates, and the rest of the flock, Donovan McNabb, because it's hard to be disciplined in more than one sports. Because one thing that college is fun. College is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
College, if you don't play a sport, like my one semester that I didn't play sports, out of 5 years I went to undergraduate college,
sick.
I had the funnest. I'm sure my boy Coach Pat would appreciate that.
Yes, the funnest.
I had the funnest time I had not being an athlete. But once I got back into the grind, I appreciated it for what it taught me to be a man today. And I can just imagine for extended periods, people who get those fun times, because when you play one sport, you really don't get a true off season like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing two sports back to back. These people need to be appreciated because you're putting sacrifice that most people couldn't put forward. And again, just kind of discussing these things that may not be the most popular topics right now, but when we frame it right, we talk about it more, they will be. And so I'm just appreciative to be a part of the panel and to talk about this stuff because it is very much needed.
Yes, sir. Well, they all have it, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You got it.
I just say we all need to send a prayer out for the young man that he stays healthy this year and be able to get back next year. Go well with him. We stay prayed up for him.
Absolutely.
There you go, man. So, well, there y'all have it, man. This has been a great topic. Hoop Jargon dropped in as usual on Thursdays. HL Kid is in here, man. So, we growing. We still trying to do bigger and better things. As y'all can see, I had the camera working. Got to charge it next time. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. You know, we made it through it. Next Thursday, look out, man. If y'all find us on social media, man, hit us up with a topic. Hit us. And that way we can keep this thing rolling. So this is every Thursday, either on my channel or Hoop Jargon's channel, man. So we are out, man. Y'all be good out there, man.
Absolutely. Peace.
Peace.